Yeah.
All right. So if you're not aware, um, Sunday night is typically reverses. So Friday you had it break the trend line right here, come to the resistance. The last two times it failed up in here, dropped. And so Sunday night we should drop like this. And earlier I was selling here at the pullback, not sure if it would continue up, but this was the break, the pivot, and also here's the resistance zone. So I covered that pretty fast. Hopefully you caught all that. But this would have been the resistance zone right here. You see it came up to it, bounced, never broke. So it was a good sell there, but I only got like a few cents.
Yeah.
So this is actually an FTMO account. It's a $10,000 account. So I was gonna discuss my sizing first. Is 1 out of 100 lots, 100K account is only 0.01. So you can't go any lower than that in these accounts. You can't go to the micro. Okay. So I actually size my trades differently because 0.01 is my lowest that I can go. On the 100K account, I had it at 10x. So I had a one lot right here and a 0.01, right? But if you do one lot, first off, what's the normal size position for me? It's 20%. It's 10 lots that I have here. So that's only 2 lots. So if I do one lot each, it only gives me 2 trades and I'm at 20%. So do you guys see how that's too heavy?
Yeah.
Okay. So then what do I do? Well, 2 lots divided by how many trades do I want? 20 gives me 0.1. And I tend to put on more. So 40, 0.05, which is only a 5x trade. So that's what you have here. So what I have is this 20% as far as a normal size position divided up into 40 trades. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what you see here. The next thing you see is my stop loss is a bit different. So this is what I was practicing over the weekend, is that when I'm building small position, it's okay. I can withstand it. So I have a 90 pips loss, stop loss. Okay. But give me a second. Let me add more trades. Um, but on a 5x trade, I don't want to be holding that long. I want to be in and out faster. So here I have a one price cycle, which is 8 on PC, because these are meant to be high probability. So right here, I don't want to be throwing on a 1x or 5x trade because we're at the bottom. But when it pulls back to here, like maybe this is the trend line, then I'm willing to throw one on. Does it make sense? It takes less risk. It's just my way of saying, hey, no, don't just randomly put it at bad positions. Let's wait for those opportunities. And then here, I have one which is more of a position build because it's a 0 TP, but it's only 20 pips stop loss. So basically, I can only go 3 price cycles against me. So 8 times 3 is technically 24, and 8 times 2 is 16. So I'm right around 2.5 price cycles against me if I build with this kind of position. Because if I build with this, you know, let's say 1, 2, 5, 10. What is this? It's already
18,
easily, what was that?
18.
Yeah, exactly. 18 times 0.05. That's already half of my, almost halfway to my normal size position. Does that make sense? I don't want to build too fast for those. Add on now.
Can I ask a real quick question about your charts, though? It's sometimes I know you used to trade with Hikimochi and Heikin-Ashi charts.
Yeah, Heikin-Ashi.
Are these Heikin-Ashi charts or are these candle charts?
These are all candles.
Okay.
Because with Heikin-Ashi, you get delays. And so I didn't like them. I was using Heikin-Ashi to try to teach the principle as far as, you know, where do trades begin and where do trades reverse. But I figured out a different way to teach that. Okay.
And you posted that new teaching somewhere?
Yeah. So right now, this would have been a doji on a Heikin-Ashi because it pulled back to the last candle,
Right.
which is right here. Right, so here. So then I'm going to add to my cells. And now is where I add my HP trade. And you can see it's above here. And if it does break that, we're going back up. So here I want to add a 0. So I think I added a 7, right? You can see drawdown wise very small, $2 out of 100K. It's nothing. But I do have to keep it below what's my limit as a 10K account, 5%, which is $500. So I have to watch this right here because they will disable your account if you pass minus 5, so 9,500. Okay. This could be an exhaustion bar. It's just kind of very slow, but right now on the 1 or on the 5, we have a slight trend down. Where did you go? This. See, bodies. So it should drop. Don't want to add too heavy here yet because if it turns right here as a W, then we're going to go up some more. And what I'll do in this one is I will actually tighten my stop loss. So you reduce the risk. And what I'm looking for now is if it passes the 50% right here and continues down, then I'll load a little bit heavier for that opportunity. And on the 15 here, I have, first off, the way to read this. Here. Try to zoom in. I can't seem to zoom in. It's okay. Well, this last 15-minute right here, when it turned, so this is where it, you can see the pivots, pivot, 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 should become a pivot, support and resistance. So that's your danger. Hey, market's about to turn down. And then where is it confirmed? Really right here. Okay. Because it should come down to support right here. You can see pivot should bounce some. And then if this is the resistance right here, that. So it really needs to break this one on the bottom side right here to drop further. You can see it came to it, bounced up. All right, and this is coming down. It's a good sign that it's holding towards price action, holding the trend.
It's interesting because I drew a Fibonacci too, and my 618 is at the 140.5,
mhm.
which is also your target.
So here I don't want to add because this is the 50%. I know it's a loss. So basically, if it wants to come up, you'll do an inverse head and shoulders. You got shoulders here, head, shoulders. But if it wants to continue down, it'll break this level. And that's when we'll load some. So that's a good sign right there. Okay. And again, if I don't like my odds, then I'll peel off. And right now you can see I'm very light. Just grew it by $2, which again is nothing. So you gotta know when to load. And right now there's nothing heavy yet. The market is turning, but it has not turned, which means it could be in consolidation or a range, which means it's turning, but it will do like this before it does this. Does that make sense? Okay, so I don't want to be adding cells at the bottom of this range. I want to be wobbling if it turns up.
So right now I put on some buys, wobble in this range box. Little TPs.
You could. I would have waited for right here.
Well, that's kind of the range from now down to there is where I'm going to be adding buys.
Okay, you could do that. Building a buy position.
Well, fade into a buy, but yeah.
Yeah, fade to buy. What I'm looking to do is it drops a little bit further. I can peel some of this off, or I can take it off as a set right now. See, I have a 19 and 9, which is 20, and then I take it off a 50, and it's a net profit.
Yes.
I think it's gonna go a little bit lower, so that's why I'm gonna wait just a little bit more.
I'm gonna pop up for just a sec.
It's fine. So that go just get a little bit more, and I peel off less loss, mitigate my risk. And I did take a 5x trade at the top up here. So it's kind of flickering there. Should continue. I mean, we got 30 seconds. If this body continues in short of this, then it wants to range and consolidate. So it's poking his head up right there. So this is where I'll take it off. So I took it off at 30. So I'll peel off at 20. So slight losses, and then I'll just take off one. So there is a net profit. And I hold the sell that's at the very top. And I wait. So here I could wobble it because the body came short. I'm going to put on a buy. Just saying that it will range in this area. It's not a high probability buy either. So that's why I'm still light. I'm 0.01s. It should pop up like that. I'm using 3 TPs. There it is. I'm profiting on my buys. My sell is still profitable. It's close. I'm just going to go ahead and take off my buy. And I'm going to add back my sell. Target is good, is above that. So I'm going to add a 5x trade right there. And I'm gonna now build into my sell zeros. But nothing is giving me any like major signs to add on more for 5x zeros. So about the TP some more here. It just drops. And this is a good sign because if it does continue to drop and go to here, it should come out to the bottom of the range. Waiting for its candle to close, and it's slightly above, so it could pop up still. Or the next candle could follow through. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put a sell right here just to test where the 3 TP is. If I have room to add more. So based on that, I'm gonna add some more. You can see where my stop loss is, right at it. So I'm not gonna add that many. And my TP is slightly below. Right here, it's slightly below. So I'm gonna drag it down for a little bit more profit. This one I'm gonna drag it slightly above. So it's, there we go, it's clear. It's got a little wedge forming on the one. But market is so slow that it's really not that much. And you gotta go a bit heavier in these kind of small ranges to make any profit. So I'm waiting for my HP signal. So this candle closes down 20 seconds. That's my HP signal saying drop. 1 minute. It just closed red, but I don't like it being inside. So I'm still waiting for my opportunity. And you've really got to load heavier when the market doesn't give you much room. This looks like it. 30 seconds. So I'm gonna add 2 more here. One of them drag down. One of them leave right at the base. So while we're waiting on this, is there anything you want me to cover that might help you?
Earlier, you mentioned you had gotten off the Heikin-Aschke and went back to candlesticks, and you said you talked about it somewhere, but did you record that somewhere so I can go back and watch it?
No, as I said, I talk about it differently now,
Okay.
which it's still the same signals. Like right now, this is just a doji and a Heikin-Ashi. Okay. So if I do a new chart, um, it's Heikin-Ashi right here. Okay. And I want you to watch. See how the doji red? You can still see it on the 5 the same way. So here, when it came back, this is a doji in the sense that it wicked on the top and wicked on the bottom. It's a weak buy because the previous was a down. So if you average the previous candle plus the current candle, it did finish like right in here. So that's why your body is right there. So it started somewhere here and here. Does that make sense?
Right, but the Heikin-Ashi was really designed to measure investment sentiment.
Yeah,
And
which
so
is right now down. So the sentiment right here, this is the last strong sell. And these are weak buys, doji, doji. So here, as it pops its head up, I'm going to add me one more. One. I'm building my position. It could pop a little bit higher. That's why I'm waiting for it before I add any heavier to my cells. Because I'm watching for the trend line right now. Watching that it touches the trend line.
yeah, on that 1 minute candle.
Yeah.
Here we go. But in the last, was it 1, 2, 3, 4? Last 8 minutes, it's all been enclosed within that one up candle 9 minutes ago.
Yes, exactly. There it is. It just popped. TP, reduce my position size, reduce my risk. And if it wicks like this, well, I can do this. I can peel off my bottom one. See that? I have very little risk now. And so if it pops up a little bit, I'll just take it off. But you can see the sentiment is very much a down as far as Heikin-Ashi.
Right.
And so I can see the same things on a regular 5. It's just for some folks, it's harder to see and recognize those turns. But if you look here, when this one turned down, this is really what I want to point out, folks. Hey, look, your up wave has stopped, which is right there. Your last candle, where's the 5, is broke. And this is your last support. So this one right here is when I would have been entering, especially like when it came back to here and here, which it did. But as a Heikin-Ashi, it was drawn as a strong sell, even though this was right here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so sometimes it was confusing folks seeing, hey, why is it a strong sell even though it's a pullback? Well, it's because it could not break the previous.
Right, and it's a strong sell in Heikin-Ashi because it has no upper wick. Both of those 5 candles had no upper wick, 6 candles.
And that wicks. Right, so here, as it pulls up, I'm going to add to my position a smaller one. And since the target is right at it, this time I'm going to move it down. And I think yeah, never mind. I was calculating 5% earlier, 10,000. So what do I need to make 1%? Well, that's
50, $100.
bucks. Or yeah, $100. Okay, so I'm not gonna make 1%, $100 like this. But there's no opportunity yet to load heavy.
Right.
Why? Because we're in a range. Range is where you wobble, you take profit. 2 TPs and 3 TPs, but it's not the time to be heavy. Do you know why you don't want to be heavy in a range?
Because it can turn into a marching market and I get clobbered every
Wrong
time.
side of it.
On the wrong side. Oh, one side's right, one side's wrong. Yeah.
You can be on the wrong side of it. So here I'm just building my 0.01s. Basically, as it goes up, I will be on my 0.01s. And I go heavy, but I'm not heavy.
Right.
Being that 50% is heavy, 20% is my normal, but I'm right now like, what is this? 180. I'm going heavier, but not heavy. I'm still light. I'm still light. Here's go ahead and throw on a 3, but reduce our target. And that was actually a test trade, testing where it would land. And it was right at the pivot, which I didn't like. I want it to be right there at the body, which is the top of the body, that is easier. So what I was trying to do was throw on a 3 TP to see if I had room to add my 5X. But my 5X would be stop loss right here. So I don't want to add it.
That's a little too tight.
Yeah, it was a little too tight. So, and that's why I threw on 1 at the bottom there. It was not meant to be bad PTP. It was more of a test sell to see if I had room for my HP. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And here, now at the action point, the body, because we're ranging at the moment in this body, it could bounce. But this being the second time, I'm not as willing to buy. Okay, because it could very much continue and drop. So what I'm watching for is the body close, and you see wicks up, which means we still have more ranging to do.
I don't see an upper wick. I just see a lower wick there, but on the 1 minute anyways.
Yeah, it's a low wick. It's a point in the body. It didn't close below. See, it's above, which means it has more ranging, like coming back like this.
And this would be an engulfing baby on a Japanese candle.
Yeah, you could call it that. Where exactly are you saying is engulfing?
Using the last two. So we got 8 seconds left on the 1 minute chart. And so the last 2 candles, they just jumped up. So, yeah. So now it's
Well, that's what I was saying, is there's more ranging to do.
Yep. This is good.
It didn't break below the body. If it was broke below the body, then it would be engulfing, but it's still an inside candle, Mark.
Inside candle of 3 candles ago, but yeah.
Yeah, but that was the last major move. The last major candle
see.
is what I look at.
I was just looking at the last 2 candles and comparing the last candle to the one before it.
Yeah. So there, it's like pullback. I added a 3 TP.
Yeah, I did 1 too. Also.
In the cells. And the reason I want to add cells here is if you watch this range, where we at in this range?
Oh.
What's
Yeah, we're in kind of the lower middle.
Yeah, I don't want to be buying right now.
No.
It could very much be going like this.
Yep.
Okay.
It's seeming to be range bound in the lower half of the range.
Correct. So I'm watching on this candle, and based on this rejection, I'm going to add a sell right here. A TP cell is right at the pivot, or an HP cell, sorry, not a TP cell. And I'm gonna, I don't want it to add a 0 because again, I want to be in and out. And this is not yet a wave for me to add some zeros. Kind of got rejected, pushed up a little bit. Because it was pushing down and
Yeah, I got lower wick.
what I'm
Yep.
counting on is this, like going down. But I could lose.
I just missed it. I just entered as it turned down.
Yeah. You get slippage.
Yep.
So here I don't want to add to the bottom because it could very much pop to the top of that range. But there it is. I'm waiting for it to break, to follow through. And if it does follow through, then I will now wait for the pullback and I'll add more cells more
Right.
heavily because it's going down. But sometimes with a range,
Once it breaks that low, then you got more confirmation that it's headed down.
right. But it could be because it is in a range, it's a 5-minute range, that it could come up.
Yep.
That's why I don't want to add to cells at the bottom. I want to be in and out of my cells at the bottom.
Yeah. So on the 5-minute, I have it drawn where the bottom of this present range is at the 38.2 fib support.
Mhm.
And so actually my range is between the 23.6 and the 38.2 is also the range that it's staying bound within. So I agree. It could turn either direction right now.
Yeah, what I'm waiting for is this, because you see here some pivots. I'm waiting for it to come down, close, and when it bounces, stop.
Right.
Because if it stops, then adding for the drop. But if it comes down, bounces, wick, you see here pivots. It could very much come up again into this range, like it's doing right now.
Mhm.
You see, it barely missed my TP. And what's more importantly is what I want to get rid of is this one, the 0.5 one.
Well, you only got 2 trades on, so 3 trades. So.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to get rid of that 0.5. Got it. Okay.
You can see on the Heikin Nashi, there's very much down sentiment. Okay, I'm going to add one more right there. It's the same TP. I really thought it went higher because I was seeing some negatives on the 0.5. But it's pretty much the same.
Yeah, but you're at break even price wise. You could just close them and start over again.
Yeah, I believe it's going to turn up, but it hasn't.
Right. Or if you weren't
The reason I
sure,
added one there is because I was building my position. And again, I'm counting on the stair step down. And it did follow through down. So it should touch this TP and it might bounce up.
Mhm.
It sometimes goes back to the range like this, touch, and then it drops.
That's what we're looking for.
But I don't want to buy right now.
So do you put any validity on the 8 o'clock time? Well, for me, it'd be 8 o'clock. I don't know. For you, it'd be 7 o'clock. But this is when Alveo resets everything.
That's when at the basically volatility jumps. Okay.
Right.
Usually 45 minutes. So you have a range between them. So like the 45 and then the 15.
The quarter off to the quarter after, right?
Yeah. Because that's when people start watching and they kind of see, okay, where is it going? And okay, how did it close? And what you see is it picks up, comes like this and drops. So
Right,
here at the hour mark is when it jumps, kind of really picks up. So 5 to 10 is usually where your max is. And 15 kind of drops down again. And then it does the same thing. It kind of roller coasters in terms of volatility. So does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so there it is. So here, when it's super close like this, I'm just gonna peel off my top bottom because it was missing it. It didn't hit it. It's missing it, and it has not closed below it, which means it wants to range back into it to maybe here. And it has to keep going lower like that to continue. See, it pops. That's what it closed out for, and then I'm gonna add back 3 and watch my TP. This being that is right at the pivot, I can add a little bit more here, but I don't want to add more than that. Why is that? The very next thing you can see is you might break this and come back into the channel right here. And so I want to add more right here where it still has not broken the downward wave. Okay. Because this right here is your last downward wave. Like that. Does that make sense? So even if it comes up to here and here, it's still within the down channel.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it has an overall trend, downtrend, but it seems to be double bottomed on the 5 minute anyways.
For the moment, yes, it's popping up. It's popping his head up. So I'm very precise with my exits now, is the thing. Okay, I'm not afraid to take them. In the past, I'd be like, is it gonna hold? Is it, I'm just like, just take it and then recycle. Or if it doesn't, then add back. But I'd rather take some action, especially securing profits, than regretting it and say, I wish I had taken it. Okay, it's continuing. And this is where I do not want to add because my TPs now will be below, which is harder to hit.
Mhm. Yeah, you're looking for a retracement back first. I'm looking for a retracement back too.
But I don't want to buy here because there's a second, and usually when it's on this pattern like that, it could break now. You can see this broke on the first. This one broke on the first, but retraced. And that's the kind of retracement I was talking about. So here I'm going to add now. Just going to add 2. And what I'm waiting on is this right here before I add my 5x. So when it matches the body like that, it tends to come back a little bit. What I'm talking about is on the 5. Here. Here's the last body, and this one is actually slightly higher. It should come up more. But if it's going to continue the down wave, it has to hold right there. Because then it has to turn down again. So there's that pop I was talking about. Now I add some zeros and I add some more 3s. Zeros. So I added 4 right there. So I had a 2, 2, 4 of my smaller ones. And the reason I added that is because sometimes it comes to the 50%. That's all you get. So that's why I had 2s of here. And then it comes all the way to here, which is why I had some zeros. And I'm waiting for this to hold. And that it makes a lower low. Or sorry, lower high. If this comes back into it, like right here, there's a risk. This is the turn. Because starting to break trend, the smaller channel, but not the bigger channel. So there it is. So now I'm going to add my zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to add one 5x. So my 5x, you can see my stop loss is above this, which is a great sign. And there it is, see, pops. That means it's a good sign that it's holding as far as the trend. And I'm waiting for my confirmation that comes back not to here and bounces up, but that it breaks before I go heavier, like this is a diamond. So this is a good wick for the cells. But earlier, we still got 3 minutes. So what I'm watching for is this right here on the body. Where does it close? If it closes below, we're going down. If it closes at or above, we got more to pop up, which is the last shot right here. Trying to draw it right at the body. That. Hopefully this is making sense.
Not only that, but making money.
Literal sense. We're a small account right now. I like the 100K accounts better because
Trading a demo $50,000 account.
Well, you got to size it
Yeah.
to your account size.
Right.
Okay, so on the 15, you can see it's doji. And the last major candle was still a down candle, which again, the sentiment is very much in a sell. It's just that look at Heiken Ashi. As this is forming, this is a strong buy. Because at the very bottom, it went up. Okay, fill the 50% right there. And now it's passing it. Like what I'm watching for is this right here. It goes deeper, closes it below that area. Then it doesn't bounce right there, which means we're dropping. Is where now I can start adding some cells for the test of the pivot. So I added some more right there after confirmation. I'm a little early. But what I really looked for is it didn't not just come there and bounce up, but it came there and it went deeper and it's flickering below, which is a good sign for me. That should retest the pivot. And you got a little M forming. So that's why I added more 0.3s there. And I could add one here, which is risky move, but I would need to make more money. This is a great candle. You can see on the Heiken Ashi, it's turned back into red and a strong sell. Okay, but this is early. You got 4 minutes. So I'm waiting to about 2 minutes or 1 minute before I load heavier. But right now it's pausing on the way down, which means it should continue down. Bam, look at that. It's like clockwork. Okay, so now I gotta mitigate my bottom cells. What do I gotta do to just a little bit more? And I peel off right here. Go ahead and peel off. Why? Because it could bounce again a little bit. But now you can see I'm in a bunch of 0 TPs and ready for the drop because this is the third time where for the inlet is 1, 2, 3 should drop.
How can you tell you're at a bunch of 0 TPs? I know this is MT5, but oh, I see. Okay.
If it has a number, then
Yeah.
my TPs, my fixed ones. If it's blank, then it's a 0. Okay, but now what I'm waiting for is confirmation.
This is the third touch of the low. So
Yeah.
isn't this a 50-50 plan right now? See, sit and watch and wait, see what happens.
Well, you could, or you could take action and make money. So what I'm watching for though is this. It's the third time as well for this one, which means it could come down and pass it, or come down and bounce.
Right.
If it bounces, I want to TP, take off my some of my trades, and then put them back on, recycle. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't want to take off all of my position. So this right now is a pausing pattern, so it should continue down. It hasn't touched the pivot action point just yet. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to add one test trade just to see. That's where it bounced. And since it's going down, I'm going to add one more 5x trade. You can say it's selling at the bottom, but it's not because we're about to break and continue down. So this one I'm just going to pull down slightly. You see my targets are above the pivot, but it's pulled down for the most profits. So now it adds 1, 2, 3s at the bottom there. And that's it. So definitely close below the body right here, right? I mean, well, technically you have 40 seconds left, but on the one it has, okay? And when it pulled back, it did not break even the last one. So that's why I added more, even though it is technically the bottom. It's really halfway right now. I added at the halfway because it should continue down. And then it's not the bottom, you see? So some of you say, oh, is it bad PTP? Or, well, if you watch your price actions, then, it's not really. But I waited for confirmation. I waited for that slight pullback. So on a 5, it definitely closed below, so we should see continuation. But this is where it sometimes pulls back some, like this. Just because it didn't touch this one right yet, it might pull back some like this, and then drop. And it kind of rallies its friends to drop. So as it pulls back, I just add to it, and I move the stop loss above. There we go. so slow right now. Should continue like that. Like you see, just stair step down. This right now looks like an algorithm because it's like so perfectly, boom, 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 boom. That to me, that's a computer selling into it. It's flickering, which means that every time it pulls its head up, kind of thing like that. That might have been the end of it. So let's see now, adding my 0.01s because we're at the bottom. We don't have enough room for right here 8. I want to wait above here to add my 5x. But clearly this is a down channel at this moment, right? Meaning that it's lower lows, see, lower highs.
And it's gone through an 11 pip cycle in that last down channel, so it should be due for a retrace anyways.
Well, hey, yeah,
Price cycle looks around between 6 and 10 or 6 and 12.
this could be it, but so there it goes. Now I just build it bigger. Add a 3 right there. I'm gonna add 1, 2. So I added 5 for that layer. What I'm watching for is this channel right here, in this channel. 1 for the body, 1 for the wicks. So you can undo that and draw it on the chart itself.
Yeah, this is the retrace back to the support resistance rather.
Well, you see it's under the body right now on 5.
Now it is, but yeah, before it was just above. So.
No, it's above on the 1,
Yeah.
but on the 5 it's below. So you can see the Heikin Ashi is still very much a down channel, and there it is. So now I go ahead and add to my 3, my 5x there, as it pulled back. So it's holding that body channel. It's not getting to the wick channel. That one got rejected. It TP'd a lot of my trades. I had 3, but my bottommost didn't touch. This is a doji right now. Means the next candle follow through down like that. See, I'm in net. But again, I have to find my opportunity to load heavier because I'm not going to get to 1% like this. The market is not giving me anything right now to where I can give.
Well, not at 0.01 lot size. Come on.
Unless I risk and increase my risk,
Right.
which I could. Market hasn't moved so much. It's only at 11, then I could have been 0.05s, and then my 5x is more. But
I don't think there's any news tonight or tomorrow morning.
yeah. Based on this flickering, I'm going to do a little bit risky and just go ahead and load heavier Put 5 of my 5 extras on. This is an advanced trade, and it's an impatient trade because it could go wrong.
Because this is trading to make money, not trading to trade well.
Right. What I was seeing is that it would drop and flickering, which is my signal. It should continue down.
Right, but on the 5 minutes, you've had two lower wicks at the same level and
It's an
the
inside
body's
candle
pumped
right
from
now.
both, and
Well, this right now on the 15, it's an inside candle. So there's a risk that this could be an up wave.
that's what I'm seeing.
Does that make sense?
I think it's gonna go back up to 148.20.
Good, yeah.
Price pop down.
All right, sorry about that. I had to take a call from her wife.
Well, there's the 8 o'clock or hourly, top of the hour.
Yeah, it so popped up, right? So how my TPs hit, and I didn't get to manually exit from my zeros. It's okay.
Yeah.
As long as my 05s are out of the picture, It's okay. And then now I'm at it back to my threes. Now this is not a good sign on the 5 because you can see the candle is above the body. Like I said, this could be the up wave right here. It's coming. You got the inside candle right now on the 15. So I added some threes, some 3 TPs that is. And I'm just building my position back for sells. Does that make sense?
That's what I did early. I
This
added
is
some-
very much still a down wave. This could be the end of it though, right? Like that. And now I added 1, 2, 3s and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. I didn't add fast enough at the top there. What I really wanted to do was add some 5 zeros here, but with my annotations and drawings or whatever, it messed up. And so kind of spread, and there it is. So as it drops like that, I'm profiting. And then now this is where I hold, saying, well, it kind of broke the pivot. So now where's my next pivot? Where's my next pivot? You see here, it broke the pivot right there. What? Come on. Sometimes these things don't work. Okay. And so where's my next one? Well, this is where it is at right now and breaking. So my next one is at here, at the body. Does that make sense? So what you have right now is a speeding up market, which means here's your trend line, and it's going to diverge away from the trend line faster. So rather than a slower trend line, now it's starting to go a faster trend line like this. So this is my opportunity right now, where I'm going to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now this is an L3 trade, so be careful about this. What I'm counting on is this stays below this, so my stop loss is above this one, and it's above the next body. But that's my high probability that it should drop and hit at least wick before it bounces up. So that's why I added 3. I actually added 8 of those 5x trades. Okay, because I got to make my money somewhere. And so this right now is my best shot, because if you notice the trend line, come on. This is what I was talking about. You see how it diverged, that it broke on the downside of the trend. So this is where it speeds up. So that's my HP area. Does that make sense?
Yep.
But I want to get in and get out. So I didn't add a bunch of zeros. I could. It's just that it could very much be the up wave. And so let me actually do that. I'm going to add not a bunch of zeros, but I'm going to add at least 2 zeros. 1, 2. To write it down further to this action point right here. Does that make sense? So I'm going to make the most of my profits like this, as a diamond shape, and then peel my profits like that.
And I've only got 3 cells on, but 2 of them are 0 take profits, and one of them's at a 3 TP. So
yeah, but then you're gonna make bus route money. And so there it is.
It's a 0.5 lot size, so
Yeah.
it'll make $10 on each trade, so that's okay.
Okay, 0.5 is big. I thought you were like me, 0.05 or point,
Oh no, this is a 50,000 count, so it's 10 times what you're.
All right, see, it's there. It bounced. It went against me. It did come to my TP. Do you notice that? It just didn't take it, and I was like, really? So now I'm gonna add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there. I'm building heavier, bigger, faster into my sell position because this should be it. You see that? All my 8 just lost. So I'm gonna add back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because this should be an exhaustion bar.
Yep.
I gotta pay for them though. So it wicked and it hit my my stop loss right there. I thought it was above the pivot and it was below, so
Oh, that's not good, man.
I couldn't tell. So I took an unnecessary loss right there. Again, that was just it almost hit my TPs and I would have been out of them. And that was the logic I had. It was correct. It's just it happens. Right.
Your stop loss was what, 20 pips? Yeah.
This one is to be able to have your position, but this one's not. This is meant to be an HP. So my HP is lost because it went one price cycle and stop lost it. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Because again, I was adding at the bottom. I knew that. I just saying that was my high probability should drop and hit it, and then it just barely missed it. And I was like, dang it. And I couldn't close it fast enough. So there it is, coming to retouch the trend line. And you can see it's almost hitting my stop loss. So I'm going to drag it slightly up to the next one, just for some protection. And then I'm going to sell, because that's really where I want to load. But this is the up wave, and it should be the next thing is it drops. So that's why this is now where you fish drawdown. And I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it hit the action point right here, the pivot, and it's bouncing. So as long as it stays below the 15, we've got a good sign. Let's continue down. But this is now where it broke the middle channel and it went to the top of the wick channel. You guys see that? And now it should drop at least to the middle again and take out my 3 TPs as far as the high probability trades. And the Heikin Nashi right now is very different. It's a doji. But this is a good sign though, because it's a doji down.
Yeah, it's a real small body, so it could be a down or an up, so skinny a body.
Yeah. But you can see the bias is not changed. The bias
No,
is
it's still down.
Yeah, it really has to break this. Is where my stop loss is to turn up.
Probably has to get above 141 to be able to say its trend has changed. Just a psychological number.
Well, it's not a good sign right here.
No, that's not.
Okay. But this is a strong candle. It's an exhaustion candle right now and it should come down 50%. And it kind of did with this one.
The candle before, yeah.
But now this one's poke his head up is not a good sign. So we actually have to start looking at buys. Or we just build a sell position.
Stay with this.
If we build a sell position, then we just have to watch our drawdown. Because right now you can see I'm in a loss. I took a -10 loss. And I'm in a minus like 40-ish. I have to watch -500. That's all it is.
Yeah, you got plenty of room.
And there it drops. So that's a good sign. But it needs to really drop below for the body right here.
Right. And it will. It will.
Okay. So again, nothing to panic about. It's just more of a, okay. The up wave is starting to show itself. Which you can see it's starting to break its uptrend or the downtrend, down channel. But I don't want to be buying at the moment right now. If I was thinking of buying, I would have been thinking right here. right at this action body right here. But really I want to buy right there. So I really thought it would drop further. So maybe there was something out in the further back that I missed. Zoom in.
You don't see it on the hourly, so I don't think so.
Well, there was right here. Yeah, I missed it here. See that? Some pivot right here.
Mhm.
There was a zone just where it bounced.
Yeah, because there's
Okay.
a resistance right below, above it,
Forward.
to the right, left. So-
Yeah, it's a support, not resistance. Resistance is on the top, support is on.
Right, but there was resistance to the left of that candle you marked.
Yeah. So this should be the last of it,
I agree.
but I don't want to be loading HPs right now. I just want to build my positions. Build mine is 1, 2, 3. And if it does break above this, then I want to flip the buys. And because the buy wave, I don't know where it could last. Maybe to here, maybe to here. Now this is turning down, which is a good sign for sells.
Mhm.
Okay. So you see the strong buy on the Heikin-Ashi, and that's where if it closes a strong buy usually, right? Yeah, this is the channel, then maybe to here. But I right now rather be in sells. With that move, I'm waiting for my confirmation to now load heavy, but I could mitigate. And take off some, peel off some. Do pairs. Here's $1 something. I can peel off, but I don't have any profits big enough.
I don't have enough profits to peel anything off either.
Yeah, I don't have enough to peel off. So the only thing I can do is add to my position for heavier position. But this would be where I would make my move.
I think you're at a decision point right now based on the M1.
Oh, it's closing right above 50%, which is not a good sign.
Right. My puppy wants to talk. I'll be back in a minute.
All right, so I'm gonna build into this towards the sell position. It's wanting to poke its head up right now. So what I could do is hedge and start buying. But based on
Go to the dark side.
where the body is right now, it's still holding the channel. So I don't want to buy just yet. I want to see it break. What was that, Mary? The 5-minute close is a doji down, which is a good sign. Okay, because it's holding the trend channel or this down wave channel. Okay. It hasn't broken yet. And it could be a double top. But if it comes up to here, what you have is a 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3 for W to go here. That's why I want to wait for my breaks here before I move add and hedge into it, which means when these things stop loss, kind of like this, you got to let now a small cup and handle right now. Like that. I'm gonna build my sell position again, add to it. But I'm gonna be ready to now buy into this. That is it. As it comes up, hits my stop loss, I'm gonna profit and pay for them. We have 3 minutes. You can see it has not closed above this. So I'm watching for anything to close above it before I add my buys. But as it gets pushed down like this is basically an M, a rejection. Up, down, up, turning down. So it's getting rejected. Don't know yet. Let's see, got a little bit of a double top right now. And bam, I just TP'd, and this is where now I add heavy on myself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And these stop losses are a little too tight. So the price cycle has changed. It's actually increased. You can measure them.
So you just added the cells right now?
Yes, because there's a rejection. It's supposed to go up like a cup and handle, and it just got negated. Man, this thing is so tight. And I wish there was a way to move these stop losses easier, faster.
Isn't it when you right click on it, doesn't it come up with something that affects all or something like that?
I don't
I'm
have
not
it.
an L5 guy, so but
Oh, it's too close, too close.
well, I think what I used to do is I used to pick the stop loss on the table down below that I wanted to use, and then block copied it to everybody else.
So the price cycle has increased to 16. So I have it at 8, which thinking this was the middle, but I'm going to increase my stop loss to 10. 10 pips of this, so that's 100 points. But that's a little bit of chasing the market because it's like pullback like that. But this is where now I add it again. 1, 2. And my trades are all over the place. I can't say what's what. I'm trying to move my stop losses. All these are sells. Stop loss. There we go. I think that was the last of them.
Well, you can look at your little table there and you say you got a 141.7, 41.7, 41.7, 148.90, 140.90. So yeah, you can just change those.
Yeah, thanks. All these looks fine now. All right. So that should be it. Because it's holding the trend line and dropping, I would be more comfortable selling. The trend line breaking, and so you see that he went up, doji, and now this is going down on Heiken Ashi. It's very much selling buyers right now. And there we go. So all of my trades are now TP, but I had a set of them that lost earlier, so I need to pay for them. So this should pay for them. See, I'm back to profit now.
Yep.
And I'm at my 5%, 0.5%. I was gonna say 1%, but it's like, no, wait, this is a 10K account. I'm almost at my 1%. So I missed my opportunity to load more right there. If I loaded more, this would have been it. But now I need to peel off my bottom trades, mitigate my risk.
Aren't you at
Okay,
0.01%?
there it retouches. So now let's reload. 1, 2, 3. It's only just the 50%, so that's why I loaded there. Pull these stop losses up slightly. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull some of these targets down for more profits for the body. Right there, you see, action point right at the body. I'll stop myself. There we go. It's not a good sign though that I wicked so bad. But with 2 more minutes, it's still in the bottom of the middle of the channel, okay, which is a good sign. Right now though, sticking his head up. But you see the strong sell on the Heikin Ashi, which is a good sign, and then it's dropping again. The selling pressure right there. So this is it. I'm now going to add zeros. 1, 2, 3 for the drop. And poke his head up. 1, 2. Dragging these down for more take profits. Right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So the reason I'm building a heavier sell right here because it poked his head up, got rejected down, so it should turn down for an M right here. Basically this. On the 5, this is not a good sign. Just look at that. It was supposed to go down,
Yeah.
and the doji at the moment. So there's some strong buying pressure right here. So I want to get my majority of my profits here and be out. But if it comes down to here the third time, it usually will break. So 1, 2, and then 3. Again, we're not that much of a support. So, oops. It should come to this area right here. Which is 104.5 or 140.5, sorry. So with 1 minute left, it turned into a doji up. So that's not a good sign at all for sells. Buys could actually be entering the market right now. And the W could be forming. So what you have right now is where the trend line is a 0, a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4. So you could have the W. And a double W. So we really got to be careful on our sells right here. Because this could be the bottom. Because we got 2 bottoms. So 5 minutes can change the picture drastically. I don't know where the market's gonna do, I just can only predict based on what I see.
Yeah, I'm still looking short. It hasn't broken the 5-minute downtrend.
Correct. It's right at the trend line though, which
Right.
makes it dangerous. Because we're right at the pivot here. And we're right at the trend, the channel. Okay, and what you have is a double bottom right now with a slight higher high. Or sorry, higher low. So it's inviting that if this one does not start trending down, it invites now the W 0, 1, 2, 3, and a pop up like that. See that?
Yeah.
So right now, actually, I'm gonna buy into it.
Mhm.
So these are my stop losses here, and I'm gonna buy into it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So as I lose on the way down with these trades, I'm going to profit on the way up with these buys. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I have some buys on in case it pops up. And if I lose on those buys, take them off and flip the sells to pay for them. Okay, but I play both sides of the directions or both sides of the market. So these, I want to tighten my stop losses so that I can profit on them.
Losses or take profits. Yeah, tightness.
I don't know which one I tighten. So it's okay.
Yeah, see, that's why you gotta look down on the chart now to see where you set your take profit price.
Well, I wish there was a magneto, and
Yeah.
Khalid gave me one, but it didn't work, and it was crashing my MT5.
Oh. This is why I didn't like MT5 when I traded it years and years ago. It's like you couldn't adjust things fast enough if you had a lot of orders on. And to me, the symbology is confusing on, okay, where's my stop loss? Where's my take
Well,
profit?
I wish it would be different colors like Alvio has,
Yeah.
but the stop loss and the take profit is the same color. So it's confusing to me, like you said.
Yeah.
So it has not broken the channel, but it's close, it's dangerous of being one. Do you see it on the patterns? If this is your W right here, resistance, you got your 0. You can call that 1, 2, and then right now it's about to be a third one.
Maybe.
But this is the up move coming into the market because you see the Heikin Ashi, it's an up.
Yeah, I just think this is a retrace for a longer term down.
That's why I'm still in my cells. I just want to do different types of cells. So I have my 0 TP cells, and I could, move my stop loss away and not take the hit, but I pay for them differently. And there it is.
Huh.
You see that I'm actually in the negative as far as the drawdown, but I'm in the positive still. So it took my stop losses, but I paid for them. Okay, now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Add more back. Add buys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0 TP buys. So I could tell when the market is changing that many of you are still struggling with. So see here, I lost on some sales. Actually, I lost on, oh, I had commissions. Okay, so I profited some buys and I lost on some sales. And you see that I paid for them, like your 7, 8, 10, $11. And I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something 11. Basically, I didn't lose anything. That was earlier. So here, 3, 2 buys, a 3, 1. See, overall, I'm still positive 16. So I didn't lose anything, is what I'm saying.
Right. But doesn't that include your present profit or loss right now? You're down 101 on the actual profit.
Yeah.
So doesn't that include it in the balance?
See, there I lost them because I lost on my sales and I didn't have enough buys. I had 10. So let me add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 buys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So as I lose on my sales right there in that position, I'm going to profit, and I'm going to build my sell position. 1, 2, 3. Well, why would I add right there? Well, it's an action point. I think it's still going to go up, but I don't know if it's going to go up. So these buys here could lose. That's why I added sells. And so there it pops, and I'm waiting for the TP. And as the TP is on my buys, I'm going to add my sells. And this is now the W on the 5. And overall, I'm losing. So when you take the loss, man, it's really bigger. Because it has the commission and it has the profit, the loss. 5.
You're breaking even right now.
Minus 25, basically, with the drawdown.
5.
So there, I'm going to add back to my buys. 1, 2, 3. It's the same layer, so. 4, 6. 1, 2, 3. So I'm not adding cells right there. I'm adding it. I'm waiting for it to pop to the top. It's here. It's a continuation pattern right now. As you can see on the 1, it pulls back, but not more than the last one. So it didn't do what I thought it would do this time, which is when it diverged and broke the trend line right here. It didn't speed up, but it's continued and actually started the up channel. Other patterns that I see, when it breaks, it speeds up like this. So it's like, okay, whatever, I was wrong on that analysis because the market didn't do what I thought it would. I simply adjusted to what it did do. So I have a losing sell position, but I'm profiting on the buys.
Well, on Saturday, Friday night, Saturday, you had posted a note that says, here's my projected target for Sunday evening. And you put down 140.619, which was a 25 pip drop. And it went down to 140.6968 something. So you nailed the projection initially. It's just since it touched where you said it was going to go, it's reversed and started back up. I still think it's going to, the US dollar getting stronger and the Japanese yen not changing and the banking not changing, I think the dollar's gonna win out and it's gonna continue down.
Mm-hmm. See, so top buys are losing right now, and this could be the sell. So here I have to build into my buy because I think it will pop up. It has not turned because it's on a 5. What I'm looking for is this. It comes down to the trend line, bounces up, stays above this, comes up to here. Could be the W, or it could fail. So I don't know. I don't know where the market's going. It's more of what is the market telling me it's going? Okay, so on this pullback right here, I could cut some of my sells. Okay, some of my losing sells like this. So I don't want these to carry in case it comes all the way up. So close 3, so that's 12. So right now it's dojing up. Sorry, dojing down, but still it's wanting to pop its head up. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm adding buys to pay for the ones I peeled off. So peel off some bigger ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. It was about 12. And it drops. So now this is where I stop adding buys and I stop killing sells and I just watch. I let the market tell me where it's going to go. It did close above as far as a higher high. But if it closes below this, it could stall, and especially if it closes below this. So this is my telltale sign that we want to turn down. If it can close below this right here, right here, you see we're right at the bodies here.
And it might take a couple of minutes to get there though.
Yeah, it might. And I'll lose on some buys, but it's okay because what will happen was I'll take some double loss, but then I'll flip and win on sells so fast I paid for.
Yeah.
So this is what I was showing on Saturday that I practiced. Hey, look, I can't tell where the market's going. So with this one, you see I'm winning on sells, and I'm starting to lose on buys, but it has not turned. This is just a retest of the trend. So it could still go up like that. What it will tell is if it can break. If it breaks this, we're going down. But if it cannot break this, we're going up. And I can peel off some of my sells. So some of my sells, I'm winning here. I can peel off some small sells.
Yeah.
Watching for my bigger ones like this one. Okay. I'll peel these off. And it's winning right now.
When you say bigger one, you mean the lot size?
Which means I'm going to close my buys. My buys are lost. And now I flip to my sells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I added like 20 cells right there. This is the M. This is where it's now rejected the W. You see it on the top? And it's an M forming. So
Yeah,
now,
I'm reading those M's and W's. It's just, it's
yeah,
what your eye wants to see, you know?
what had happened? Minus 250. So what is that? That's a minus 2.5%. Some of you guys are scared of that. But look, I unrealized, that there it bounces. But the fact that it went all the way like that, I'm going to add heavier to my cells again. Thinking it should drop. Okay, I'm going to pull down my TPs right at the body for extra profits. And again, I add heavier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I'll add so many that you won't even see it on my chart. Like, you can't see my charts. But this is it. It's like, hey, look, I only need one wave to catch and fix things. But now that the buys have been rejected big time, this is it. This is time to load. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm very, very heavy right here. Because you can see I'm in a 3.5 lots at the bottom. But why am I doing that? Because it's the timing. It's the pattern that just took place. But this right here failed to bounce up. So, and this is the third attempt. On the downside, we should drop. And all of my targets are easy targets. So I had a 2 something loss. Let's see now. It should recover so fast that you won't even see it. All it needs to do is just almost 4 lots. Let's go to 4 real quick, just to make it. There we go, 4 lots. Now this is an advanced trade, okay? And especially when I was buying right here. But that was only because I really thought the W was forming. How did I know that it would have cut off right there? I didn't. You know, I could not have foretold that it stopped right there. There it is. Wicks, TPs, a lot of my trades, and what's my drawdown now? I think in 1.8. So now I still got to fix it because it took some losses on buys and took some losses on sells. And there it traces, bounces. And that's to be expected because it hits people's targets, it bounces. And so now I add back. Not as heavy. So this time I'm 3 lots, not 4. Or 2.5 right now. So I'm gonna add 1, 2, 3, 4. 2.7 at TP to 1, 2, 3, 4. Three, almost 3. There, 3 lots. I just see my opportunity, and so it's like I load for it. Wow, pops up. So we can't afford it popping up high We just have to peel off some. It's still below the last 5-minute candle, so again, I'm adding. It's not good that it's above the 1. As long as it stays below the last 5, I'm okay. Right here. As long as it stays below this. That's where all my stop losses are. This is not a good sign though, because what you're starting to form is a up channel. But this could be it. This could be the inverse head and shoulders. So, yeah, really didn't expect it to drop or come in like that. Seeing the M, it might be doing this. So my stop loss is a bit too tight. But there you go. It didn't pass it. So I'm very, very close to my -5 right now because I'm heavy at the bottom. It's because I had to fix some trades. So there it is. It's poking his head down. So now I add back. It TP'd on some, I think, or maybe it hit my stop losses. Yeah, I hit my stop losses as well. All right, what's the day? Oh, down 9-6. Just say 70. Minus 3.3% as far as the drawdown. Right now, 9776 minus 2.2. See, it's below the last 5. Great sign. Great sign. It's turning down. This is poking its head down. If you look at Heiken Ashi, there's still a down bias. See? I'm just waiting for my opportunity to load. This is continuation up though, 18 seconds, and it's right at the body. It closes above the body, which is not a good sign.
Isn't it right in the middle of the channel on the M1?
Right in the middle, yes.
It's like no man's decision line.
It now hits my stop losses.
Yeah, that's going on.
Okay, and it's in a range. So this is a range. So I'm very, very close to my -5. Godly. Internet's down or something. But this is where being it's a range, I would just sell into it. But again, we have your W kind of forming and an up channel entering. So it couldn't break on the other sides, and then it dropped and rallied. But right now, I would say it's going up. So not good in a sell position. I could basically fail the challenge at any point. And I need to start flipping.
Yeah, on the M1, you've got higher highs going on.
But here I gotta add heavier to my buys. And this was what I saw earlier with the W. And it finally came to this, only it went all the way down.
Yeah,
And
it's showing
then
the
came
end
to this.
first, so.
It's like, golly, come on, market. So my equity is below right now. So basically I would have failed. This is a trial account, so it's letting me stay, but this is not good. So where did I mess up? Well, right here. Because I thought the trend was speeding up when it somehow turned into the up wave. And it turned into the range. So you can see now it's pushing down again for the range. So I just simply sell into it at the top of the range. But this is what I didn't recognize until it's a little late, which is that it stopped its wave down. And I did kind of start noticing it right here with the 0, 1, 2, 3. This is the fourth time right here that it could break the trend line. But it's like, okay, fail. What do we do? How do we adjust? I think what it was is I was getting impatient, right? Well, how do I make my $100 when 1%? Because I was at 0.5, right? Peacefully. It's just getting to 1% was hard.
Well, here's your drop now.
Yep, it's the top. So I have some sales to profit from that. But I also have some buys on drawdown. So right now I'm big major fail because I'm on 3.
Yeah, about 8% down right now. Yeah.
Yeah, my Google Drive does it's not.
Plus the size of the candles have gotten larger over the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, that too. It picked up volatility. So minus 6 point something was where it was at. Right now, of course, I'm minus 4.3. So looks like this is the last of it as far as the ups. Because here's the move and here's the 50%. But we do have a 0, 1, 2, 3 right here, a 0, 1, and a 2. So if anything, I would close my cells and buy into it as a pop up. There, as far as realized loss, really bad. It's 4.9 something. which is minus 6.3. So this is where David, I think where he's going with the group is good, which is, hey, if you make your 0.5% or your 2.5, then just be done with it, you know. Sometimes the market doesn't give you, like this to me is a hard market to make 1%. And I started going heavy in the wrong direction. Right here. That's where I messed up, because then I became out of sync with the market. Everywhere else in between, I was pretty in sync. But this market basically gave me, being so small of a range, and how small I traded, it only gave me what, 0.5%. Now, if I had traded it bigger position size on all that, then I would have gotten my 1%.
Yeah, with more risk, though.
Yeah, so basically here I made 0.5, but here I lost 0.5. I lost 5. I lost 6 actually. Why? Because it changed. Market condition changed with this move. After that, I became out of sync with the market. Well, what can you do about it? That's what I'm asking. So I look at my failures. I'm like, okay, this is where I failed. This is why I failed. Now
It's back in a 10 pip range, though.
yeah, but you got a 1, 2, 3.
All in the 10 pip range.
If you don't see it, 1, 2, 3, you got a W here. So it should come down like this and up. Maybe when I was trying to tighten, this is hard. Okay. You see, there's more than 10 right now. Really, maybe I should change this to 20 and change this to 500.
Yeah, I've been running with a 50 pip stop loss since we started, so I haven't really been too worried about getting stopped out. I'm at 0.1% gain right now. Basically breaking even.
0.1?
0.1, yeah.
Okay. Did you take a loss through this area or what?
Nope. I was doing both buys and sells too, but mostly on the sell side.
Yeah, right now I want to be in a buy position because you got a flag right now. Right here, it's staying above this right here. So here's your first sign that this is an up wave. Was this candle? It wasn't an exhaustion. I thought it would be when it came down to here. And then it got a higher high, a higher high. And what's more important is right here, a higher low. And then that's where your up wave entered. So this is it right now. This thing's so hard to draw sometimes. So basically you see that it's at the top of the channel and it dropped. So that's my only bad point, which is I add at the wrong times and I face drawdowns. Because I started getting impatient and I started adding the bigger positions, and I'm building with the bigger positions rather than building with my smalls.
Didn't I comment about that when you first decided to change sizes?
Yeah,
Because this is what I do all the time too. I'm gonna make money, so I'm gonna change my lot size. No, that's the wrong thing. Trade,
oh, I want to manage my risk, and managing my risk would be, okay, where do I build? This was my build. It's just that the price cycle didn't give me that, and so I really could have gone away with here being 0.05. And if I want to take my HP, then maybe this was 1.5, a 3x trade. Does that make sense? So the price cycle at 0.01 was like not enough money.
but you were making pips, but pips don't count.
Yeah, it
Percentage
doesn't
only
count.
counts. Yeah.
So there it is. See, it's going up. So again, I just add heavy to my buys. I think I maxed out 3.3. So I did make back a 1% earlier because I was 9.4. Now I'm 9.5. So what happened was I was in sales right at the top here.
Yep.
This move, but it actually caught here. I didn't think it would happen twice. So I didn't add second layer of cells. I had cells right here, added buys right here, and then added buys right here, but did not add cells right here.
Second layer of cells there at the.
I didn't think to add a second layer of cells because it looked like it flagged.
Well, I was just playing it as a range bound again.
Yeah.
I'm selling it 908 and buying at 830 or 840.
Well, I wouldn't sell until the next. For me, I would sell right here.
Way up there.
Yeah, because you got a W, so it should pop, and then so.
I have a hard time reading those W's because they turn into M's, you know.
Well, it's just action point. Right now, it wants to pop this and go up. So if this is my 5, what's my next major 5? Well, right here. What's my next one? Right here. It's also the trend line. It's also the one that touches the trend line. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So there it is. There's a pop up. And see, when I knew the structure was changing, I could have peeled off myself. It's just that I didn't know where. It's right here. I really thought it was going to drop. I couldn't. I should have, if I had the hindsight, peeled off all of my cells right here, flip the buys, and then be profitable right here.
Oh yeah,
There's no way I would have known that.
that's exactly right. That's the advantage of hindsight.
Yeah. Okay. Now I knew it the moment it did this. Why is that?
What do you mean the 3 touches on the 50% line?
It failed to drop. It failed to drop and it closed above. That's when I knew my cells was, whoops, we got to flip the buys. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Like, let me plot the histories and see, show you. Where did I get out of my cells? I got out after this one. It peeled off and executed right here, right? But based on this move, I was trying to get out of my cells. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just having trouble. I'm having
And to
trouble
here, I
changing
had
my
the cells.
module.
It was profitable when it came down to here. I didn't peel them off fast enough. And then it came to here, I didn't profit. And then these cells at the top became losses. So that's the only thing about zero TPs, and I don't like them, is I'm not disciplined to take them. So I like 3 fixed TPs better. Because it forces me to take the profit while I still have them. Okay. So I personally build zero TPs, smaller position like that because of that. So right here, retouch of the break, and now add back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Retouch right here. There's a little bit deeper of the body right there. There, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's pop. So almost made back another 1%. I mean, got 6% to go.
Sometimes you trade all day to make 6%, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's unfortunate how I lost. So if this was a real challenge account, I'd be disabled. And it's like,
I'm still at break even, exactly break even.
yeah. The thing is that when you switch accounts, you have to trade them slightly differently. So when I was trading a 100K account, it's easier. And then when I switched back to a 100K account, I was like, dang, it's harder again.
You mean the 1 million to the 100,000? Or to the
Well, no, I
10,000?
mean from 100 to 10K.
Yeah, yeah.
This is a 10K right here.
Yeah, you gotta trade smaller sizes because you can't afford the risk on a 10K.
Exactly, again, for the risk. Okay, and because I mean the one lot on 100K is a 0.01. And so whoops, 0.01 as far as a ratio. Okay, so I can afford bigger and I can make my money faster. Now, if I trade the same thing on a 10K, like I said earlier at the start of the session, it builds to a heavy position too fast. If I put on a 0.1 and I put on 40 trades, I'm in 4 lots and I'm already heavy. I'm way past my normal. I'm almost heavy, which is 50%. 5 lots is heavy. So right now I'm in a normal size position at the top. And I would wait to
Yeah.
here to be heavy.
Yeah, you really want to be in a normal size position in the middle, right?
Yeah. So ideally, the way I like to do it, it's more like this. So here, when it drops, I'm normal size, TP, and I become lighter as it TPs. So this would be my heavy, or this is my heavy, and then like that. As the structure is felling, I don't like to load heavier because I would rather load on the other side like this.
It's more of a fix it mode when you're way down there and all, right?
Yeah, so basically the way I would do it, I was make fix and sells, whereas you guys would load heavier like this in buys. So this is what I don't do right here. But that's my style. So there's that pop that I was talking about. And there it is, it hits. Oh, come on, close off, close buys. Didn't close fast enough. Now I bill myself. See that? It pops to the top. And I build my sell position. And then past that action point. So this is a big candle, so it should. I recovered 2% right there. Now I'm building a big sell position right here.
25 pip candle in a 5-minute chart. Come on.
This is a huge candle. I'm like, what the hell is this? Is it news?
I don't think there was news.
This is very unusual candle because you see how everything else was small and now suddenly this is huge. So that's why I'm selling like crazy here.
Fine. At 27 pips, 28 pips.
Yeah,
fine.
in one candle.
Yeah.
So this is my HP sells. My bottom sells right here, I might have to give back. So I'm moving it up 50%.
Yeah, so this should retrace now.
Yeah, like this. And so I'm adding to my cells. See, now it's coming back into profit. And I just recovered another 1-2%. So for me, making my 1% is very easy as long as I have my opportunities to load. So maybe you see me fail as far as the 5% drawdown. But I can show you how I, even taking a -6% loss, I should end the session in positive. There we go. It's in profit and it's good enough. It's where I close out, close sales. Boom, 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 boom. Look at that. So 9.8. What is that now? $1.15. So you see how I made 5% in just a few seconds or a few minutes. I mean, because over here somewhere I was -6,
Mhm.
and now just +5 or -1 net -1. Now when it pulls back like that, I'm waiting for this break, but I'm going to add back to my buys. And we're kind of in the middle. So I'm adding light. What I'm watching for is an action point right here. So we're right there. We're going to add a heavier buy. But could very much drop some more. And if it does, I sell into it, it's more. You see how it's pausing? So let's just add some cells here. It's slippage there. Okay, go ahead and close my cells. And now I add very heavy to my buys. Why am I adding heavy here? Because it should come up 50%. Test this candle right there. Oh, dang, look at that delay. I clicked so fast I didn't add. Because I took my mouse away and I was like, what, why is it still adding trades? After this, I don't know if it will continue all the way up, but with this, there we go. I'm going to close down my buys. And look where I'm at. You see that? How I just recovered everything? So 99.37, I'm at -0.6. So this is where some of you just are not confident enough to add heavy. but this is where I've watched the market many times. I know my HPs. Sometimes my HPs go wrong and I need to close them out because it doesn't do the pattern that it's expected. Like right here, this is supposed to be a speeding up trend. It didn't. That's HP gone wrong. And technically it hit my HPs. It was just 0.1 missed it. And unfortunately, when it took off, took a big loss. All right, that's continuing up. And this might be the last of it though.
Well,
But I'm gonna go ahead and add a buy right here. Don't like the target. So I'm gonna build into the buy. And what we see here on the hourly is a cup kind of pattern. But it came up, retested the trend line, and bounced. So I expect it to come up to here. And because it's a night market, it tends to be a running market. So this is where I will add heavier for the drift. So wait for the pullback. And like that. Now the targets are below the body, which is better. It can wick up and then fail. But based on this candle, and this is not following as far as a drop, you can see here what's happening here. This is now doing the opposite. It went, here's my slower trend line, and now it went faster trend line. So if you do the channel, the upside, this should be the last of it. And this could very much be a drop. But I'm still gonna buy into it. Because it has not broken this channel. So now that it drops into it, I'm gonna buy now. And buy heavy here. I put 3 trades right there. Because this right now is forming a wedge. So it should come hit the body. It might not break the body, but it should come and hit the body. There we go. So I can exit on my HP trades, but I'm barely making anything. It's just because some of them are losing right here. So the idea is what I wanted to do was kind of wobble out of these top ones. Just didn't move enough for me to do it. For New York folks who don't understand what wobble is, I think everyone here does, but in case someone's watching the recording, a wobble is like this, where you build a triangle position. First layer you enter loses, second layer you enter, let's say prices are dropping, you'll have 1, 2, third, maybe you have 3, fourth layer you have 5. So if prices come back up like this, you break even on 2. So You have 1, 2, 3, and 5. You're losing on 1, break even on 2, profit on 3, profit on 5. So there it is. It pulls back deeper, and now I add back more buys. So I have to pay for the top buys. And it hasn't pulled back even to 50%. So the channel is holding as far as the fast action up, which is why I'm adding to buys even at the top. And like I said earlier, it might not break as far as the wedge. And then this right here drops, needs to drop below this layer, which it has not. It wicked below, but it's not closed below. And it will turn when it passes this one. So if it comes down to here and it bounces, it's still flag. So this is my turn right here. Which, if you look, it's also this candle. Now, if you look at the Heiken Ashi, you can see this is an inside candle at the moment, turning into one on the 5, but it's still a higher body, which is a continuation pattern saying there's not enough selling pressure to drop it. That's why I'm still in buys. You guys see that?
Yep.
You still have 2 minutes left. And I'm waiting for my confirmation, which is 1.5 minutes now. If it closes right here above the 50%, this last body, it's a great shot of continuing up because it could not pass this support zone. And that right there with the wick right there is now when I look at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Load 1, 2, 3. So many of you are very, very scared to load here, saying, wow, it's loading heavy at the top. No, it's not. Because based on this pattern, it should continue at least the next hour, which is right here. Or right here. When you view it in that context, is this really the top or is this the bottom? Okay. You see that? It's closing as a continuation up. And the body, as far as the wick, like it's higher than this pivot. The body close is higher than this pivot, which is a great sign. You will go back to this next one. Now it pulls back something like that. It's okay, but it is above. So if you draw this body to body, it's right at it, which should continue. And this one is earlier was a doji, which means it could pull back, but right now it's a continuation up. So as it pops up, what I want to do is then peel off some of my trades at the top here, at the wick, at the pivot. So peel off these top trades, whereas let these bottom ones run. Does that make sense? And if you look at my equity, basically almost back to account break even. So you saw me lose 6% real quick, and you saw me gain it back just as quick. right, so here we've got one losing trade right here. I'll peel it off. Peel this one off, peel this off, pay for it, and then leave those. Peel off this top layer here and leave 2. And these are 0.05s. Wait for the pullback like that. And we're gonna add back 1, 2, 3. Because right now it's a ride the wave setup right now. You have a 0, 1, 2, 3 as far as the W, and then here's your pullback. So I'm adding very heavily. The way I like to do it, I want to make most of my trades through TPs. So here I'm going to add more. I'm going to be 4 lots. That's what I want to be at. Even though this is technically the top, it's a pop-up. It's a bill for a pop-up. There are 4 lots. So many of you are like, you're so heavy at the top. But this is not the first time it's touched this. It's right here, 1, 2, 3. So it should pop and break. If it doesn't, again, I treat it as a high probability trade, and I'm obligated to get out. And I get out right here. I have to get out, which means this right here. So it's a risk reward kind of thing. Hey, I'm taking a big risk in a sense, but if I cut it right there, I'm actually taking a very small risk. And if I profit, big time. Does that make sense? So there it is. You can see I'm actually now back to break even, positive for the count. It's continuing up. It took 1 lot of my trades as far as TPs. I'm not going to add the risk. But I'm going to hold. So you see here, it went, this one pulled back some. What I'm holding for is this one right here. Now this might be it. This might be the ankle slapper, and I have to close out. So I'm watching for flickering signs, and if anything, I can take some of my profits. But see, it's continuing, it's continuing, continuing. So where's my next one? See, I'm waiting for the, there, right there. It starts to wick. Come on, close the buys, close. Come on. It doesn't close in fast enough. You see this, it starts to flicker, flicker, flicker. This is where I sell it, sell, 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 sell. As far as high probability sells. Because why? It's gonna pull back. So I was waiting for that body, that flickering. This is why I sell, hyper probability sell, because this is huge candle again, huge, huge, huge candle. I'm smacking so bad. You cannot already see my chart. You can see I'm 5 lots in sells right now. $5.5 lots, and they're about to profit. Boom. Oh, now that's flicking up. So let's add to the cells again. It should come down to that body right there where my red line is. Here. It might wick, and this could be the last of it. and bam, bam. Come on. You see it's now pushing up a little bit, flickering up is where it's just okay. The net profit, come on. Close, dang it. Sometimes the execution sucks. You see, I'm in net profit right there. I'm closing sales. I got to take it off because it's fast. What do you guys see though? What did you see?
0.5%, just about 0.43. Yeah.
4.38%. I went from -6 to 4.38.
Is it 438 or 0.438?
No, this is 4.38.
I guess, yeah, $100 is 0.1, is one.
Yeah. It's 4.39%. So was this good trading? I failed. If this was a prop challenge, if it was my personal account, yeah, I would take it over any day. Because so what? I risk -6. I realized, I don't even know what I realized, but you know, the risk to reward was not that great, so it's decent. But it's 0.7. Means I risked more than I made. But how many of you can make 4% in 2 hours?
Not me, not yet.
Well, you gotta know when to load. And I think that's really where you are too afraid. Okay. Whereas I have honed that skill and I can play both sides of the market. So like this, I was buying, I was profiting, and selling, I was profiting. And it continues up, and that's why I got out of my sales. And I could have continued here as far as the buys and profited. But the most important thing is I recognized when the market changed. And it started right here. And confirmed right here. Or actually right here. Because this was supposed to be the M to continue the down, and it didn't. So anyways, let's just end the session here. Let's recap some. I did fail in the sense -6, but oh well.
Duke, thanks very much. That was amazing. This is my first time watching you trade. That was fantastic. Thanks for sharing.
So what did you take away from it though? Like what did you learn?
The constant watching of the candle motion and making a decision on every single candle. And that was actually I haven't used Taka the other candlesticks. I forget what they're called already, but I haven't used those before, and that was helpful, I thought too.
I can ask you.
Yeah, I can ask you. So I think that's probably what I'll do then is I'll keep the chart on the side and then refer it back to it. You see the major move up, and I caught this up. But I caught sells as far as the opportunities as well, right? So, but that's why I was using Heiken Ashi is that most traders do not see the wave. It's just that with Heiken Ashi, it kept giving me delays. So I got tired of seeing those delays. So that's why I prefer regular candles. Because I can see the same thing on the regular candles as Heiken Ashi now.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, when the Heikin Ashi first started turning green, you were still looking at cells.
You mean right here?
Yeah,
Because it hasn't broken the structure.
okay.
So that's a good question though, because if you flip too often, then you'll get in trouble. Because what if this is just an exhaustion bar? Let me blank this out. So what if this is just an exhaustion bar? Okay. And the very next candle was like this. Now would you be buying?
No, of course not.
Yeah. So you don't know what the market is going right then and there. Okay. Now the first clue that this was not is when it failed 50%. Oh, didn't mean to blank it out all that much now. But here I would have been at 6% right here with this move, +6 that is, and it would have been a 1-for-1 risk reward. Okay, but that's not what matters here. Your first clue that this was beginning to turn is right here. When it could not break 50%. Okay. So if you take this away, how far did it pull down? As far as body wise, it didn't even pull down 50%. It only came down to here, which is right here. So that is the first clue. I was like, uh-oh, now I'm in trouble myself, because now look at where it is to the trend line. It is what I call a 1, 2, 3s, because here's your base, there's your 0, your 1, your 2, there's 3, it touched, and your 4. And so now this is now hugging the trend line and likely to break. And it did break. Okay, then what do you have next is a retest of the channel, which is right here. Unfortunately, it was also the M. So I didn't know if I needed to get out or if I should hold. Does that make sense? Because it retesting the trend and it actually broke below the 50%. It broke below 50%. It's just I was early on that. Look where it closed. It closed right at 50%. So again, I didn't know if it was going to continue or if it was going to reverse. So with this candle right here, I can't tell. Does it make sense? I'm like, it looks like it's going to be an M. But with this candle, I was like, uh-oh, we're in trouble. We're going back in the range. And we have a new wave. This was it. This was your new wave entering the market. Because here was a high, here was a higher high, here was your low, but now here's your higher low. And it closed above this. So this is when now I was starting to peel off my sells and build into my buys because I saw the 0, 1, 2, 3s on the top. And you had it right here too. Are you following me?
Yes. Can I ask a quick tech question?
Uh-huh.
I was trying to load the simple panel from the drive where Nick Kovash put the code on,
Mm-hmm.
and I put it under scripts, but I can't. It doesn't seem to do anything. Am I putting it in the right place?
It's not scripts. It's an EA.
It is an EA. Okay, I'll put it under there and then. Sorry.
Expert advisors.
Okay, thanks.
It's not really automatic. It's just that it uses the same EA concept of adding a trade and closing on stuff like that. So you do have to allow auto trading here.
So if I copy it over to Expert Advisor, it should work.
Correct.
Okay, I'll try that. Thanks.
Michael, Heiken actually is built in. So I'm trying to find my, where, oh, here it is. So basically I do a new chart. And then I right click indicators. Or sorry, that's because I already have it. Insert indicators here, and then trend as, or sorry, oscillators, I think. Nope, where the heck is it? So, okay, so they put it in custom Heiken Ashi. Okay, the only thing here with that is it puts it on top of your graph. So with Heiken Ashi, what I did is I had to right click and go to properties. And you can see here all my colors, I zeroed out the colors. So the bars, grid and the bars right here are all nuns. And the colors are actually in the indicator. So if I go into properties, indicators, so right click indicator, sorry, I can actually properties, and then right here, oh, sorry, it's on the other screen. I was like, where is it? I was staring at it because I have a duplication software. Here in the color now, then you can click it, double click that is, and then choose your color. So I like green, red. That's just my style. So look at that marching market. Wow. So I would not be selling right here, but I would be looking to buy. And this could be the last of it right here. Let's see at the top here. So I'm waiting for that pullback, and then I would buy into it. But again, that's if I'm greedy for 6%. Okay, but if I'm like, okay, 4% is good enough, don't risk it. Because here you're buying at the top and you're buying heavy. I would not risk it personally here. But earlier, like I said, when I was heavy here, many of you, sorry, here on this dot right here, when I was heavy, right in here, now what do you see? Was I really heavy at the top, or was I heavy for the wave? And it's not even halfway, because technically this is the bottom third. But that's all it is I saw price action, I knew where it was going, and bad PTP, I don't really care because I don't know where the market will stop. David is keen on it, especially with counter trend trading. Okay, but I am a wave trader. I trade for the waves. So for me, I look for continuation patterns or reversal patterns, and basically it pulled back and it was getting rejected. So let's go through this real quick. So you saw my trading there, turn off the thing. Like I said right here, it was following the trend line. Not only did it go up here and come back, but failed to drop. And come up here and come back, but failed to drop. So now you got a 0, 1, 2, 3 for the top and a breakout. And Heiken Ashi supports it. That it was not a inside bar. So even though this was lower, okay, it doesn't matter. What matters is your body. Your body keeps going up, 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 up. Now this one is still up, but this, you see this? Your next candle might be an inside bar. Your next candle might be reversal.
But you still have no wick on the bottom half of that last candle, so.
Exactly. It really has
still
to
a
go
strong
a
buy.
long ways to turn the market. So if anything, I would still be in buys, or I would build my buy position to retest the 50 and get out. Does that make sense? So if it pulls back, and let's say I'm adding my buys, add, and this turns red, that's my clue to get out. That, hey, look, when it pulls back to this, boom, get out, get out, get out. Because the market, it wants to turn. Okay, but you see here, as far as the Heikin Ashi, everything here is up. Not only is it higher highs, but higher lows for the body, the bodies. Okay, don't look at the wicks, because the wicks can fake you out. Like right here, the wicks are down, but the body is up. That's strong buying pressure right there. Okay, I can see that on the 1 or the 5 right here, without the Heikin Ashi, because I saw it right here. Based on how the body closed, less than or above the 50%, and this one started poking his head up. So this is where I was loading heavy with this wave. And I got out right here, sell, 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 buy, 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 and then I quit. See that? I got out right there, sell, 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 sell. Kept selling, 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 and then made all my money in sales. And then I would have been buying, 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 buying. And see, this was what I was talking about right there. How did I know? I didn't know. I just, based on the price, I said this could be the inside bar. And see, so with Heikin Ashi, the only thing that told me that is this, the wick was lower. Okay, so if anything, right now I missed my shot to sell, but basically, right now it's right at the trend right here. So this is a great place to buy right here, as far as retest of this pivot in this 50%. Okay, so it's like, well, here's my HP buy, smack it. Whoops, now it's above it, and then those top ones might not. See that? It's just the price action. And then here, I have to watch. Is it going to continue up, or is it wants to flicker down? If it flickers down, I close out. If it continues up, TPs, and boom, 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 boom. You know, I make my money fast like that. So I prefer markets like this where it's more volatile, faster, because I make my money fast. And I close my buys right here, because I don't know if it has any more steam left. The reason for that is because it came wicked. And you see the body is below. But I'm out of my buys. I'm out of my risk. Because this is risky at the being in buys. But it's also risky selling in this market, because this is very much a marching market. Now see here poking his head down. This is where I now smack into sell like this. Like this. It might not break this, but there's a high chance with this, it wants to turn down to here. But the moment this breaks here, I'm out of myself. It's a small risk to reward. Here's my risk, here's my reward. So I'm watching the candles very closely, and then one can tell you a lot, especially when you put it in context of the 5. Because this right now is still a pennant. Because up, pennant could very much still pop up. And this could be the last of it. If it cannot break this, this is the last of the pennant. But if it breaks this, this is now the flag. Still, you don't know that. But see, my targets are way above it, and it should TP. So that's what I'm holding. Because it's poking its head down, boom. A TP, I'm out of my trades, and I'll watch the market. Can it break this level? If it cannot break this level, it's a flag. And it wants to go up. But if it breaks it, your reversal was coming into the market, but still has not broken the channel. What it's actually done is formed a faster channel. And it's on the second piece. You see right here, the second channel, it can bounce up right there. Now this is going down still, but see, look at that. It's having a hard time. But I'm out of my cells.
And you talk about the drift overnight, so you're talking about the positive long position overnight on the JPY.
Yeah, but just look at how hard it is to break on cells. It now has to break this last 1 minute to go up, which is resistance here, and then this 1 minute, which poking its head to the resistance right here. I would not be selling here though. See, very strong buying pressure. The very fact that it could not break this means the buying pressure is still there. But you see there in the Heiken Ashi, it's the first signs as a red doji. It could be turning the market. I just don't know yet. I don't know yet. You see that? Just push up. So if you're selling right here, you might be in trouble because it's having a hard time pushing down. It pushed down, yes. It closed right at it, but not as that down, as an up doji. And buys come back into the market, you see? But it has not won. That's where it wins. Once it passes this, we're going to the top. Selling pressure. There's a lot of selling pressure right here. With the wicks, we have 11 seconds though. And let's see what the Heiken Ashi says. It's still green. So I could sell right here like this if my targets are above like that. So this is not as high probability anymore because it's the second or third round, but there's a shot that it will hold this channel because it could not break above this right here. Should retest this one more time. So this is my HP trade in sales, which I'm prepared to get out. Lose $5, $10. You can see that one wicked on the bottom there. Couldn't even push it down. So that's not a good sign for sales. So if I don't like it, see it's poking his head up like that. I don't like it. I was just like, oh, you know what? No, get out. Pokes his head down. Okay, I'll stay. Pokes his head up. Don't like it. Close. You see, my risk is very, very small. But many of you are still holding on to false hopes. So what if I risk $2? I already made it earlier. See that? It just pokes his head up. So now it has to close above this. And this is where I flip back the buys. If it closes above, it may be like, hey, this follows through as far as sells. But again, there's a lot of buying pressure. There's a lot of economic stuff right now. I want to fight margin market. And we also have the 9 o'clock, the hourly volatility coming in. So I'd rather wait for it. This, I think sell is actually winning at 2 dojis in a row. If you have 2 dojis in a row, usually that's the end of it. But we're early, we have 3 minutes to go. So if anything, this could actually be a fake out and then it pops up. They close right at it, but slightly below. But you see here, it's very much a wedge right now, which was a lower high and a higher low. It's undecided. Is the market going to pop here or pop here? I don't know yet. I'm going to let it decide once it closes. Like, so what I'll do is I'll do this. I'll put a sell stop right here, a little bit low it. And if it enters my sell stop, then I will start selling, smacking the sells. And do you know why I have a sell stop and not a buy stop? Anyone want to guess?
Well, if it's broken the low, then it's not not likely to continue up, so.
Correct. But if it wicks up, there's a high chance it gets shot down. So if I have a buy stop, I might lose on that buy stop. If anything, I'd rather be in the buy limit, right? If it continues up. Or wait for the confirmation, which is it pops up above, especially this one, comes back down a little bit and stays above. And that's when I shoot in. Okay, but if it pops up, comes down, it stays down, I don't want to be in buys. Then I would be losing in buys. But if this turns right here, look at where we're going. Does that make sense?
This looks like volatility dried up the last half hour here.
Well, it's about to enter at the 0-0.
Yeah.
Okay, so right now the buys are winning, but we don't know yet. We don't really know until this move. This one maybe you could do early. But if you look, we're just still in a doji zone. See that doji? It's hard because a doji doesn't necessarily mean a turn on the market. It just means I don't know.
It's just indecision.
Yeah, it's indecision. So you could, if you wanted to, it's where it's early, but look at that. It's very different. It's doji up right now. If anything, it looks like it's going to continue up. Even as though it's huge move, it still looks like it wants to continue up. And right here with that, you got 40 something seconds though, but now I can start adding my buys and just, it doesn't look like it's being rejected. And so I add my HP buys at the top, knowing I can fix them. And I get out right here. So I have a small risk, which is like a few bucks. And if I all TP on them, I can make like 50 bucks. You see this? This is how you read the charts. This right now is a high dash up. and it's just pausing right there, pausing. So it's not getting rejected. It should pop up. And my target is below the body. It's below the body of this one. This is the wick, the pivot, where's the body. So what I'm expecting here is it should retest the top. Pull back some, it's failing, but it should pop. And now take a note of how much I'm risking. Okay, not $5, but maybe 20 bucks. And 30 bucks. Let's look now. You see Heiken Ashi? Well, it's still up. So what do I do? Again, it hasn't really closed below. This is the last of it. And I don't want to add any more buys. So I'm risking a small amount. In case it continues. So really, if I wanted to take the better risk, I would have done 0 TPs, not fixed TPs. That would have been better. It's for a small risk and then bigger reward. See, this is holding now, but now this is where, okay, now my buys are starting to lose. And I just close out. And I don't like the risk, so I close my buys. This is what I was talking about. Hey, sometimes it doesn't follow through. It was early, and the body didn't close. See, that the same. It didn't make a higher high. So this might have been max loss if this is a flag, but it's okay. Because what did I risk? Well, I risk 0.5. So I'm still at like 3.9, right? Maybe I risk 1% between all these trades. But what I'm trying to do is help you fine tune your HP trades. And I'm also working on that. See, now the doji down. But I've seen it like doji several times and it still just continues. The most important one is right here. See that?
Yeah, those 3 dojis on M5 are just telling you that it's in a range right now.
Yes. But when it goes like this and hits a range, what I'm looking for is the break on the bottom side and staying below this. If it stays below the range, it should break down, at least right here. Okay, and basically what you might have is a flag like this. So right here, if anything, I can sell into this to the bottom of the range. So as it pops, I'm just gonna sell, build a sell position. And get out. So what is this? This is my buy stop, right? Or sell stop. So what I'm trying to do now is wobble that, hey, look, if we're in a range and we're below the 50%, let me sell into it. But if we're above, I'm going to buy into it like this. So that's how I would trade my range. And then as it pops, why I don't want to be selling here is in case it does this. Okay, now if you want to sell and you want to counter trend, then yes, you could do that, like that. Okay, but I am a wave trader, I don't like the counter trend. So here I'll build my position up until the middle. After that, I'll flip it because what I suspect is a wave is this KPI right here. Here's my wave and here's my wave. Okay, so there, resistance, sell into it, sell. Sell. And now it passes. Okay, well, it's too fast for me to even catch the buy. So now it's like, well, okay, this could be the last shot. And so I will sell to fix my sells, but there's a high chance of this continuing right now. Up, that is. Because you got a flag pattern. So here's the flag. And it's still within the trend. The longer this holds, though, and it breaks this trend, as far as timeline, like this, we like that. Does that make sense? So I don't like this because it's like, well, if I was in buys, I would have been profitable. But if I was in sells, well, I needed to drop. Like that. But now this is a good sign if it can pass this. Early here, but it's pushing down all the way. So I will sell and add it to it. This is adding to the risk, but what I suspect is that it's rejecting the buys and it's staying below the range. Small range right here. See, if it's staying below, it should sell into the range. And I unfortunately don't have any zeros because on the screen. I zoomed in for you guys. But I should profit and pay for all the stuff that I just lost earlier. I'm just going to exit this. And see here, it's having trouble. The only, even though it rejected this, it still has not closed this range. This is your KPI right now. It's at the trend line. Now it's failing the 50%, so I'm adding to it, adding very, very heavy because it pops its head up and it's being pushed down. So I'm selling, because this is the best shot right now. No, I'm really, really heavy. So it's like, if it doesn't work out, I have an obligation to get out. And that's what I'm trying to show you is, hey, if your trades don't work out, don't stay in them. So what if you take a loss? You'll be able to pay for it. For some of you, $50 loss is like, wow, 0.5. I don't even know where I can make it up. I'm gonna sell into it because it's staying below the 50%. The longer it stays below, the more likely it will drop. You see it's like 3 bars right now. It's right down. It's pushing up though. And what's my margin? I actually not. Oh, I'm not selling that much. That's why I'm in the 0.01s. That's why I was like, what the heck? What happened to my HPs? Okay, this is not so good because it's pushing to continue up. It still is holding. See, look on the how. It's still a doji. The longer it stays a doji like that, though, the more likely it is to turn down. It's still within the context of the range, of the trend channel. I mean, so this could be it, the last of it, and it pops up. So I basically want to get out of my trades while I still can. Like right here, it was profitable, you know. Kind of holding and sticking his head down. So I'm holding a little bit. Don't want to be adding too much right here. There's a bigger pullback so I can add. If I don't like to click as much, then what I do is I change my position to 0.1s, and now it's a little too late to add. It's at the bottom now. It's touching the bottom more than the top, so it should right there break down. Wick up slightly. So adding now. So if you are trading a range, this would be bad PTP because you're bottom of the range. But for me, I'm trading for a wave. So to me, this is the start of a wave. And bam, right there. You see that? I just hit 5%. So earlier I was what, 4 point something, and I basically gained, and I took a loss. I took like minus $50, right? But I gained 550 to get 0.5. So hopefully this is helping you as far as just seeing your opportunities and not being so afraid to load heavy. It takes practice because you don't want to load heavy the wrong times. It'll go against you, you draw down. Okay. But that's what I'm trying to not have you do is load heavy all the times and be a jet, but not be a bus either, which is too light, too light. This one's too light. And this one's too heavy. It would, David talks about is how do you balance it? Balance it. Heavy or light at times, the correct times. Okay, so hopefully that helped as far as touching on the lesson as far as HP and being heavier, but this is not the time to be heavy on sells. Even though it comes back like this, sometimes it comes back into the range and it still pops up. So in the past, I would be like, hey, this is it. This is the break. It actually has a not break. It broke this right here. But look at that, a 1, 2. It has not broken. It has not turned the market. This is still a flag. It's just that I saw one level right here. The next level. And then when this level breaks, it'll go to the next one, like this. You see how it's wicking? It's just having a hard time going down. See that? On the 5, though, it's starting to go down. It has not turned the market until right here. Until right here. Okay, so if you watch the 15, where was that? Right here. It has not turned the market until it breaks that, because this is your last pivot. Okay, if you're above this, this is just a pullback for the continuation. Here's your pop, here's your pullback, here's your continuation. See, top of the trend line. Well, bottom of the trend line. Are you seeing it? Don't expect too much, and see that it just bounced. It just bounced. So that's why I was saying this is not the good time to be buying or selling. I mean, because in the past I would be selling right here. I would say, oh, you know what? Start my sales again. Nope, nope, nope. It's still the flag. It's still the flag, and it could. Now the picture looks very different though, because you look at how many times you touch the top. Now if it stays below right here, the 50%, it's different. So this is your KPI right now. This is your KPI. It's failing the upside. So now is when I start loading. It's failing the upside. Oh, nope, spoke too soon. You did a 50 of the 50, went up 50%, dropped 50%, and now it's going up. So now the picture is different. See that? Just 10 seconds, change the picture. Just 10 seconds. Because what you see now on the Heikin Ashi is an inside candle, which means market wants to reverse. It's testing it. All of these right now are weak sells. None of them is a strong sell. You want like this. This is a strong sell. As far as Heikin Ashi. Like this right here, strong sell, strong sell. Now the body right here is lower. The average of it is lower. So came up, and now it's failing. So this is why when I would sell. I've seen it before where this can fail, so you got to be careful about this. I'm a little early, but what I'm counting on is that this body is below, and this pushing it down. That can't push above this 50%. So you see the buying pressure? Even at the top like this, there's still a lot of buying pressure. There's a nighttime drift. There it is. It should TP on my, oh, and it fails. I don't like that because it's pushing down and it pushed up. See, it's starting to poke its head green back. .6 seconds. The fact that it cannot close above, though, is a good sign that it should drop. Okay, now it could drop and then turn all the way up again. But the point is, these bottom cells should work out, and then tighten my stop loss or TP, I mean, like that to make it easier to hit. You can see it wicking though, wicking. So it's buying pressure animal. And see on the 5, this is not closed below the above this, and that's when you know your cells have lost. Right here. It is above this though, but being pushed down again. So having a hard time though pushing further down in this level. And these levels are super tight. So it's like, well, if you don't like it, you get out. You know, it's like, what are you risking? Okay, what I'm playing right now is the range that it stays below this. It should drop, but see that it pops its head up right there, down, came back 50%, could not break lower, popping his head up. So that's what I was trying to tell you to be aware about right here. Got its head poking up, but it hasn't broken the structure until it breaks this right here. It's still the flag right now. The longer it holds though, more likely it is to turn down. I've seen it before where it comes out like this and it just still shoots up. So here I'm just going to add back to the cells. Here's my HP. See the wicking up. This is not a good sign right there. Anything I personally I would want to buy, but I know it's not good. This right now is just a range. Okay, on the 5-minute here, the range is even tighter. The Heiken actually draws it a little stretch, but basically this is your range. And we are at the KPI. "13 seconds and the body closes below. So there's a good sign, cells are taking control back, and now I add heavier to my cells. And it should come back to the bottom of the range. And I should TP and make my 1% and hit 6% with this. I'm gonna add to it right here because I have room. I'm gonna go 6 lots. 6 out of 10. It's heavy. Bam. There you go. See, I sit past 6%. and it wicks. But that's what I suspected might happen because at the bottom of the range and it bounces. It's okay. It stays below it, so I'm going to add back to my cells. And it's touched the bottom more often than the top. So recycle, I was 6, now I'm at 4. I'm gonna go to 5 lots, not as heavy. There it is, 5 lots. So the whole idea, because this went up and now it's being rejected, is a great sign for cells to come into the market. Okay, that's why I went heavier into cells. Ooh, buyers are pushing there, and this is now turning doji. The cells is weakening. It has to really push down here to strengthen. Then buys could be winning with this, but I'm going to add back to my cells now 1 lot more, so 6, 8, 9, 6 lots. So this is being riskier because I'm now risking 2%, 2.5% on a flag, basically. Okay, the only thing about this flag is well, look at that. It changed the pattern. What was up and then now down is now up. So this candle sucked. But if it turns down again, like this is doji up right now. But if it turns red, then we're okay in ourselves. But once it closes and it's up, I want to be getting out of my cells because the very next thing you'll see is continuation up pattern. But if this turns down, we have 1 minute to go. And again, it has not broken the 50%. And it's longer. So the fact that this is longer on the other side of the trend line has more bias to the downside. Okay, and if I lose, then I just say, oh, you know what? I touched 5% and I gambled 1% and I exit out right here and take 4%. Does that make sense? I don't let it run against me. And this right now, the cells are losing and the buyers are winning. See, closed up. So it's not a good sign. It went up, down, and then up. Next candle, though, could tell a different story. Really wanted to close right here. Well, what do? Well, I could close right here and say, okay, well, I just ended at 3.5. Okay. But that's better than saying I lost something, you know. And so like now, what do? Well, I would just close my cells. This is the last shot because it hasn't broken this. So this is a good sign right there with the wick down. So I give it 1 hold and it's beginning to lose on cells. So 3.6 and I close. Come on, just a little bit. See, it's having a hard time sells. So there, I close right there. Come on, it didn't close all. Okay, so ended the session at 3.6, which is still pretty good if you think about 3 hours for 3.6. It's an average of 1% an hour. But so what if that I touched 5% and I lost it? Well, I was playing with house money in the sense that, okay, well, I was going for 6%, but market didn't do it. Market didn't do what I expected it to do. Okay, so I gotta get out when it does not play out. Now I risk 6% to make 3%. Is that a good trading? Not really. Okay, because it's 0.5, risk to reward. I risked twice as much as I made. But the whole point here is where can you take your HP trades and go a little bit heavier on it, but get out if it doesn't work? Because right here was my HP trade. And I did try to get out right here. It's just that I still had a bunch of trades that didn't TP. And so I was trying to save those, and that's where I lost. Because this is where I hit 5%. I hit 5% right there. And then I lost and hit 3.6. Does that make sense? But a lot of you are too afraid to take losses that you would risk out or take all your profits, because right here I would have been at like 1%. And then if it break right there, I would have been like 0, and then it breaks and continues. Now I'm like -2, -3. It's like, why am I going to take the risk? Does that make sense? And here, if I'm buying, I'm riskier because this is just consolidation right now. But I was trying to go for the break on the bottom side. Being that this was a 3, it should break. But for David, this probably would have been his 2, and it didn't break. So he probably would have gotten out right there. It's just, this is a nasty range. Because you could call this your 0 right here, your 1, your 2, your 3, 4. You could call it whatever you want. It's just, this is the consolidation. Whoops, wrong. And see, now the cells are going back into the market, but it still has not broken this channel or this. So if anything, right now, you probably want to be in buys, because the whole point is that it turned it back up. And this could be the last of it though. And the next thing you see is sells. It's just that I don't like these kind of markets. I'm like, you know what? I'd rather just be done with it, make my 1 to 2%. Technically, I don't look for ones, I look for 2 to 5% in a per session, which is a 1 to 2 hours. Okay, so really at 5%, I could have ended it. I was really just going for, I'm willing to lose a little bit more, risk it, and do 6%. And do a 1-to-1 risk reward. That's all I was going for. Any comments, or anyone want to share what they learned in that extra piece at the end there about HP trades? Okay, let's recap. here I was -6. Here I was +4. And here I was +5. And then here I was +3.6. As far as net, all this is net. Okay. So just redo this -6%. So that's 4% net. Plus 5% net. Plus 3.6% net. This is 3 hours. This is 2.5 hours. This one's at 2 hours. And over here is 0.5. At 1 hour. Okay, so that was my progression. And hopefully you learned a lot of different things that you can apply. Such as how to position size, how to load, how to take some HP trades. And HP doesn't always work out. It's higher probability, but it's not always 100% guaranteed. All right, I'm going to close the session with this, and have a good evening.